At the first glance, Geometry Dash seems like a simple game. You download the game and you play the first level. You die a bunch, but then you complete the level. And after that, you play the second level. You die a tiny bit more, but then eventually you complete it. Then you go on in the same way, and after a lot of time and a lot of deaths, you beat the last main level. That's the story that most of us went through, right? Well, not these players. The following 10 Geometry Dash players decided to, instead of gradually building up their skill, jump from easier levels directly to some of the hardest in the entire game. And they skipped a ton of progression in the process. It's like if you went from fighting a toilet rat straight to being matched against a grizzly bear. Yeah, I know, you might die 100,000 times, but for these players, that was not an issue. Here are the top 10 progression skips in Geometry Dash. The first 5 completions on this list will be slides, meaning that the players practiced and progressed on other levels between their skips, and the other 5 will be true progression skips. The 10th place on this list is taken by UFWM, a Geometry Dash player who I believe comes from Chile. UFWM is widely known around the community for his insane wave game mode skills and high clicking speed. Some of the clips on his channel even get hundreds of thousands of views, and I believe those are justified all the way through. I mean, just look at them.
Yes! Okay. I finally did it.
Well, UFWM, before he was a wave player, didn't really play many hard levels. His hardest completion before all the wave shenanigans was Acropolis, which is rated Insane Demon today. Well, UFWM, after practicing wave for possibly years, jumped straight to Cold Sweat with his newfound skills. Cold Sweat is the 32nd hardest in the game today, meaning UFWM really proved himself worthy.
Oh my god! Oh my god, 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 I beat it. I beat it.
Next is NCat, a player from the Netherlands. NCat long ago managed to beat Bloodbath, a very old extreme demon which sits at the 272nd spot on the hardest level list. Much like UFWM, NCat loved playing the wave game mode, and after being done with Bloodbath, he started progressing on levels like Coretta and Weird Trash. But his magnum opus was Thinking Space, an extremely hard level which is currently still the 25th hardest in the game. The journey took him 44,000 attempts, many months, and many painful deaths, including 2 at the very last spike of the level. Despite the struggles, NCat has a very hard completion behind him that he can be proud of.
I beat it! 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 I beat it!
Yo.
I beat it! I f***ing beat it! I f***ing beat it!
Yo.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my...
8th place belongs to PersonHuman42, an Australian Geometry Dash player. PersonHuman had for a long time been a casual gamer, uploading a lot of games on his channel and Geometry Dash as simply one of his many hobbies. However, 2 years ago, he decided to take a game a bit more seriously and managed to complete Bloodbath just like NCat did. Bloodbath, though, was not the limit for PersonHuman. He soon decided to take on Zodiac, practicing it non-stop for the following year while still uploading on his channel daily. He beat the level last July, possibly making him the first person to pull off a jump like that. Zodiac is, even today, the 18th hardest level in the game, meaning he went from number 272 to number 18. He did, however, practice other levels in the process, like the much harder Buffbath. Still, he did an amazing job.
Yes! I beat it!
On the 7th place stands Bo, a Geometry Dash player from Germany. If there's one thing that I should say about Bo is that he loves playing challenges. Challenges are shorter and harder versions of demon levels, the length of which spans below 30 seconds. And Bo surely not only beat many of them, but also made a few, most notably VSC. VSC is the hardest level ever completed legitimately in Geometry Dash, and the first person to complete it happened to be Bo himself. He completed the hardest level in the game, jumping from Bloodbath like the previous 2 players. He did, however, practice other challenges between his jump and allegedly used the no spike hack, which makes him unable to die to spikes. But still, despite that, Bo's VSC completion was still a tremendous jump. Finally, the biggest slide from one level to another in Geometry Dash has been accomplished by Flux, a player from Ireland. I don't know what it is about these players, but they all love playing challenges. Like the past few players on the list, Flux was no exception. There are a few very difficult challenges he beat, like Denouement, Determination Dance, and he even progressed on VSC itself. But still, his hardest demon was Allegiance, today the 363rd hardest level. There was, though, one level which Flux was really interested in, which is Sakupan Circles. Sakupan Circles is most notable for its insanely difficult wave gameplay, spanning over half the level with many pixel-perfect clicks, the perfect challenge for Flux. Through his insane determination and many attempts, Flux slid from the 363rd demon to the 5th hardest in the whole game. I have no idea how he managed that, but he surely deserves it. Now that we've crossed the halfway point, here are the 5 most notable true progression skips in Geometry Dash. These players did not hesitate for a second and played no other levels than the hardest one they wanted to complete. So, let's start. The 5th place is shared by Z Gabriel and Space UK. Gabriel is a bit less known, but Space has the impression of being the greatest Geometry Dash player who ever lived. Still, they both pulled off the same achievement, which is jumping from Wassereda, currently the 74th hardest level in the game, to the Golden, currently the 15th hardest level in the game. Gabriel took 85,000 attempts, while Space took 51,000.
I beat the Golden.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Holy shit, that was 1 attempt. Holy shit.
4th place belongs to the American player Ethan FC. You remember Bloodbath from earlier, the 272nd hardest level? Well, as it turns out, there is a way harder extended version of that level called Bloodlust that is currently the 45th hardest demon in the game. And guess what Ethan did? Yeah, I know, I foreshadowed it. The dude jumped from Bloodbath to Bloodlust without practicing any other levels between the two. That is honestly crazy and super difficult to pull off, but since the two levels are so similar in gameplay, I figured 4th place suits him best. Congratulations, Ethan.
Holy fuck! I did it! Oh my fuck!
In the 3rd place, we have Oops, You're Ash, an American Geometry Dash player and my good friend. Here's how his story goes. 2 years ago, Ash downloaded Geometry Dash for the first time and worked his way up to the hardest main level, Deadlocked. Once he did that though, well, he did the exact opposite of what you'd expect. The dude started playing Bloodbath. Yeah. He went from beating Deadlocked to playing Bloodbath for 2 entire years. He streamed it 140 times on Twitch in that time and refused to give it up. He played no other levels except for 9 circles, which he got 10% on and then gave up for good. And just recently, Ash finally got lucky enough to jump from Deadlocked to Bloodbath in 187,000 attempts. His reaction is priceless.
Oh my god! I beat it! I beat Bloodbath! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I beat it! Oh my god!
Clip that, people, clip that.
The runner-up is Poltergeist from Slovakia, a player who almost conquered this list with his insane jump. By now, you probably guessed what level he jumped from. Yeah, he jumped from Bloodbath. Who would have guessed? Anyway, Poltergeist felt like he could set history by going for one of the hardest levels in the game that took 2 entire years to only be completed 1 time. Tartarus. Tartarus is the 11th hardest level in the game today, and Poltergeist, after spending more than 260,000 attempts on it, completed the level with his hardest being Bloodbath. He jumped from the 272nd demon to the 11th, a truly deserved completion.
It's done! It's f***ing done! Get the bomb! Get the bomb!
And finally, the biggest progression skip that I could find anywhere belongs to the French player Lexicon. I don't even know how to begin with this dude. There's a level in Geometry Dash called Forsaken Neon, and it's not very hard. Most people I know take around 1,000 attempts to complete it. And so did Lexicon. But then he was like, yo, guess what? I'm gonna go for a top 40 demon now, because that's definitely a great idea. And his journey began. I should probably mention that Lexicon actually took the most attempts ever to complete a level, and therefore should have taken the #1 spot in my last video, but heck, I can't find everyone on this planet. Anyway, to top it all off, Lexicon took the cake with his overwhelming 610,000 attempts on his jump from Forsaken Neon to the Rupture. Now this is something that deserves true respect.
C'est bon, j'ai beat the rupture. J'ai beat the rupture.
Non, non.
En 360, hein.
Il a enfin beat the rupture!
These were some of the most insane progression skips in all of Geometry Dash. I know that there are many others like Darkmat with his Acropolis to Sonic Wave jump, Conix with his Bloodbath to VSC jump, and Artify with his 9 circles to Firework jump, which is the true biggest jump in the game, but I felt like putting them as an honorable mention at the end since they were already a part of my last video, which, if you haven't watched yet, you should check out by clicking on the panel. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day. He beat the level last July, possibly making him the first person to pull off...